Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with InvestorMore, and I'm standing outside a 4-unit property that I bought a little while ago for $350,000 from a wholesaler. We are pretty much done remodeling. Most of the units are clean, and we are getting ready to rent them now. This was kind of a crazy property. Needed quite a bit of work, had a few different issues, but we're finally getting to a point where it's almost done. That tree, I'm not sure. I need to talk to my guys about their cutting abilities. Looks like it could have been cut down a little better. But anyway, we'll show you inside, show you what we changed, have some before and after pictures as well, and talk about what it might be worth now as well once we're done with it. All right, love the likes, love the comments, love the shares. Keep those coming. Love seeing new subscribers as well. I do a lot of videos about our properties. We do lots of rentals, have some multi-unit properties like this we flip, have commercial properties, have businesses. We've got a liquor store and kind of mini mart as well, run a real estate brokerage. So we have a lot going on and tend to have some drama as well on some of our properties because we buy some interesting stuff. All right, so walking in, this is the main unit, kind of the most expensive unit. And we redid this whole kitchen, tore out a lot of it and found some mold behind the walls, different stuff. So glad we did that. Replaced all the cabinets, counters. These are Home Depot kitchen compact. So they're not quite in stock, but we get these very, very fast. I mentioned that before. Home Depot appliances. We've got a Managed Pro account, so that makes everything much, much cheaper. You can see we have a fridge. Usually we don't put fridges in our properties, but this will be a rental. And even if we sell it, we'll probably sell it with it rented. We need a fridge in that case. If we're doing flips where we're selling to owner occupants, we usually won't do a fridge. We don't need to do that. Most people expect to bring their own fridge. And we did put blinds in here as well, as you can see, because it's a rental. That's something else we do. If it was a flip, we would let people get their own window coverings, do that part of it. As a rental, then we provide those. Here's where your laundry hookups would be. So this one does have laundry, which is nice. The other ones, not so much, and maybe we'll talk about that and different options, because we can start renting this and getting people in these units while we're still doing a little bit of work on the other parts of it. So we'll show you that here too. All right, we've got 2 bedrooms here and a third that we created. It's huge. I'll show you that one. New lights, as I said, new flooring. We used to do our flooring from Home Depot, but we've got a guy, Brian, who does all our flooring for us, and he's like, I can get it cheaper from Home Depot, I can store it for you. So that was just a win-win situation. So we're not married to Home Depot on everything we do. We will shop around and look at different things, but for the most part, it's just so much easier and so much faster and cheaper most of the time to use them. And we have our own kind of storage facility where we can store bulk items and things like that as well, if they give us super good deals. I did try Lowe's once. I can't remember if I did a video on that or not. And they came to me. They had seen my videos, seen what we do, and made a pretty big sales push to get us to move to Lowe's. Had a meeting and had like 10 of their people show up and like, try us out. We promise we'll be amazing and great. And we're like, okay. So we tried out a kitchen design, and 2 months later, it still wasn't done, had issues. And so it just wasn't a good start experience, and we didn't have time to keep, going through that over and over again. So a lot of people say Lowe's is great. I don't know why that's all purple. That's weird. A lot of people say Menards is nice. The closest Menards to us is in Cheyenne, which is over an hour away. I talked to Menards once too, and told them what I do, and they were not impressed at all, and kind of blew me off. And so that was one reason why I didn't want to make the sacrifice of going that far to get things and materials from them. It was a weird experience where I drove up there, went in the store, tried to talk to some people, and they just wouldn't talk to me. Like, we're busy, we don't have time for you. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll just stick to what we're doing now. But like I said, we still have some amazing stickers on that door too. But a lot of our subs, we'll use their own, our plumber uses his own plumbing warehouse. Electricians sometimes use their own electric suppliers. So we're not doing every single thing from Home Depot, but with our text to confirm and different things, it sure can make it a lot easier. So here's the house. I don't know if did I go in this room yet? I can't remember. Here's the third bedroom we created. So this was one big open room, kind of to the laundry room before, and just totally wasted space. And so we closed it in from here, added a big closet, and then put a door on. And so, yeah, it's not a huge bedroom. I will be the first to admit that is probably 11 by 8, if we're being generous. But if someone's got a kid, you never know. It still could be nice to have this as opposed to not having having that bedroom, having a giant laundry room instead. So this property right here, this unit will probably rent for, we're thinking we're gonna ask $1,500 a month. It will be one of the cheapest 3 bedrooms, kind of detached houses you can get. It does have a basement apartment we'll show you here. But, you know, most of the 3 bedrooms are apartments or condos that are much more expensive than that. So I think it should be doable to do that. And then, yeah, we'll show you the rest of the property here and what those might rent for, and then talk about what it might be worth and what my plans are for it too. Here is the basement apartment, and I showed this a couple weeks ago because we had some issues with the kitchen, which we kind of fixed a little bit in an efficient way. But yeah, this is not a huge place at all, but it's fairly nice now. And there's our fridge. So our fridge was in there. It was really, really tight. We moved it over here. The water heater is in there. So if you ever need to get in the water heater, you can go through that way, or you can go through that way and move either the stove or the fridge. So hopefully you don't have to get in there in a hurry, which should be okay. But you can see, redid it. No dishwasher in here, very small kitchen. So we wanted to maximize space. Oh, the cleaners left some stuff. Like everything should be clean and done. We added this egress window. There were literally no windows in this apartment before. And yes, people were living here. So we added that egress window. So it is not a 1 bedroom. It is a studio apartment with an office, because we have this room right here, which has no window either, because all these walls are interior walls and there's no place to put a window without it being underneath the house. And that's why it's like that. And then in here, you can see we have the furnace. And again, this would be against code if this was a bedroom, to have your only access to the furnace from a bedroom. And before, believe it or not, this was sheetrocked in. There was zero access to the furnace. We didn't even know where it was until I realized there's kind of a space right here with no door, nothing at all. They had just completely closed in the furnace. So I mean, makes it really easy to change furnace filters and all of that when you do that. Although, who knows, maybe they had the furnace filters. So, nope, they're down there. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. I need to make sure HVAC guy's been here and checked everything out. I think he has, but that looks a little dirty. Little closet. So, no, it's not a big an apartment. It's very small, but there's a severe housing shortage in Colorado. And if you can provide more places to live, that is better than not having places to live. Where's my light? Oh, there it is. Okay. Redid this. It was a mess when we bought it. Leaking, issues all over. We got one of our little baby sinks, so there's no room to walk by it without that. And this, I think we're gonna charge or ask $800 a month, which is cheapest, single unit you can get in the area. Looking at different listings and stuff on Zillow and Facebook and Craigslist. We don't use Craigslist too much anymore. Most people went away from that. But bedrooms, like a bedroom and a shared unit right now is about $700 to $750 a month in our area. So to have your own unit at $800 a month, even though it's a basement, even though it's just a studio, is extremely affordable, and we shouldn't have too much of an issue renting it. So I know people said we should never have done it. It's not worth it. But if it's a livable place, which it is now, that adds more housing units. And $800 a month, which, might not seem like a lot, to the investment of the property, I know it can be a lot to people want to live somewhere. But it adds $100,000 to the value of the property. So it is definitely worth it for us to do it as well. So hopefully someone finds they can use it. We're better off, and it's win-win for everybody. So that's the unit we're just in. That's the basement unit right there. And you can see our camper is finally gone. There's kind of a topper on some beer barrels or wine barrels we finally got rid of, so that's gone. We'll talk about that over there, which is kind of like an illegal unit, but don't know what to do with that one yet. And then we do have another finished one over here. So we'll show you this one, which is ready to rent as well. And this one's actually been ready to rent for a while, but we didn't want to rent it when we were working on the other ones. So we haven't been advertising it. And yes, we need gutters. We just realized that. As you can see, it's April and it's been snowing all morning. It just kind of stopped a little while ago, and that's Colorado for you. That is an irrigation ditch right there. And this is kind of a busy road. It's on a busy corner, but it's set up in a good way where it's actually not too loud inside the units. Pulling in and out is a little bit tricky, but it's kind of actually secluded once you're in here. You don't feel like you lose all your privacy from the busy road, unlike some other properties that are directly on busy roads. All right, and this one is a 2-bedroom. And as far as the legality of this property, I've talked about this before, it is zoned to have 3 units. You're allowed to have a primary structure with 2 units and a secondary structure with 1 unit. So we have the main house and the basement apartment, those are legal. And like another secondary house would be legal, like this one. But the one over there that you can see is not done is technically illegal. So you could ask for a variance, you could get a variance, you may or may not get one. The city, the county is always talking about how they want more housing, they want to change the rules, encourage people to have more housing, but then kind of every time I try to do something like that or go that route, it's like, well, it's not really as easy as we said it should be, or we're not really as willing to do that as we think. And it's not, there's different towns we try to do that in different things, and it's just, they have a whole lot of rules, a whole lot of regulations on everything. And while they say they want more housing, they certainly don't make it as easy as it could be to have more housing. So the idea of getting that variance and making it come to fruition, in theory, should be easier than you think it would be, but in real life, it tends to not be. And it brings up some concerns and some worries. It's like, okay, if we go to the city and say we want a variance and they come look at the property, they're going to say, oh, well, guess what? This property is not to code. This is not to code. That has to be brought up. Oh, you don't have enough water at the property. You've got to buy more water. This isn't done right. And it just brings a whole lot of different things, even though it would have all been done to code, 30, 40 years ago. It's not to code now. When you ask for that variance, all that stuff can be brought up and issues can be brought to light, which makes it trickier. So a couple different properties I've tried to add units to or change the use on in different towns, not this town actually, but different towns in the same county, had said I had to bring more water. And water share literally costs $70,000 right now for one share. And on both of those projects, the towns, 2 separate towns, wanted me to bring 2 shares of water, which were not even available. You couldn't even buy them in quantities of less than 100 at the time. So unless you had $7 million to spend on water, you were pretty much screwed and could not get any water. That's what they were required. I asked, hey, can I buy water from the city? You don't have extra water. There's no other choice. Like, nope, that's it. So you don't know for sure that's going to happen, but those are just some of the things that can happen when you're trying to do projects, add value, change the use, or add units. In Colorado, where water is crazy right now, we're at the top of the mountain. All the water we have in our state is the only water we get, and other states have dibs on some of that water already, so we can't use all of it we do have, so it's a tricky situation. But this unit, I've been talking a lot, sorry, probably will rent for $1,200 to $1,250 in that range, 2 bedrooms, and that should rent fairly quickly at that price. It's nice, it's remodeled, it's its own little separate house, which is nice. and shouldn't have a problem there. Okay, and this is the most beautiful unit right here. And first we'll show you the shed, because the basement doesn't have laundry. The two bedroom doesn't have laundry. Oh, they did lock this. This has always been open before. I mean, it should be locked, but hold on. There we go. This is kind of a shed, and we haven't decided what to do with this yet either. I mean, we could rent it as a storage unit to someone who wants the extra space. It's good sized. It's probably, what, 16 by 16 or so. For an inkling, I thought about putting a laundry room in here, but the issue is bringing plumbing here, a drain here, enough power here would just cost a whole lot of money. So if we held off on that for now, maybe it becomes a future project. I don't know. We'll see. But it's a nice shed, and you probably could get, at least an extra $150 a month for this as storage if we wanted to rent that out. And then, like I said, here is a fourth unit, which was being kind of lived in when we bought it. And don't know if they paid rent or not, but it was being lived in. And this one, as you can see, we have not done anything in, and it smells like mold, and we'll show you why. So for the time being, obviously, we're not renting this one out. We're just kind of leaving it as is, since it would be an illegal unit, and we'll try and rent the rest of them and then figure out if we want to do anything with this or not. I mean, you could turn it into garages, but does that really add much value? Probably not that much more. So this is something to think about at a future date. But for right now, it is what it is. And yeah, you can see in here some of the mold issues it has. Obviously, we would take care of if we ever did rent it out or use it for storage or anything like that. And that could be something too where, I mean, maybe we turn it into bigger storage units and that solves our issue. Who knows? Even if you did put, like, the ceiling, this is about 5'7" tall right there. So I have to duck a lot to get through there. So this ceiling is maybe 6'4" or 6'5" tall. And so if you did put garages in here, like, you don't even have room for a normal garage door. It would be real small, real awkward. It would not work out well. So, and cost some money as well. So that's why we just left it like this. And then for right now, that's what we'll do. So that's the property, and I'm gonna go over the value, what it might be worth based on rents, cap rates, and with and without this unit, based on renting it or not renting it, maybe the shed too. So let's do that right now. All right, so here's what it looked like when I first bought the property. And I have my calculator out so I can just show you some figures while we go through the property and look at it and see what it looks like. They had all kinds of crazy wind chimes and different stuff on there. And there was a crazy camper, all kinds of different stuff. Here's what it looked like when you're first going inside. And so if we rent this unit right here that we're looking at for $1,500, we rent the basement for $800, we rent the other one for $1,200, that's $3,500 a month in rent. And we multiply that by 12 to get to $42,000 a year in rent coming in. Now, to figure the value, usually use cap rates. To figure it the best way, you want to take out all the expenses, all the utilities, property management, all of that, and come up with a really accurate cap rate. But I'm being very lazy and just doing a gross cap rate, which is basically taking the gross rent coming in, or you can call it the gross rent multiplier, and dividing it by a gross cap rate. So the actual cap rate on this property in this area might be 6%. It was lower last year. Cap rates, I've gotten much more conservative since interest rates have gone up. We haven't really seen prices come down on multifamily at all, but they're definitely not selling as fast, if that makes sense. So not as many are selling, much fewer are for sale. And if you want to sell one, you probably have to be more conservative in your numbers. I checked the other day and there were only like 4 duplexes in the entire county for sale. And this is a county of hundreds of thousands of people. So there just isn't much for sale, which is what you often see with high interest rates. People stop selling properties and things really slow down, but prices often don't decrease. So long story short, if I divide this by 0.0 8. That's pretty conservative, an 8 gross cap rate. We can even go 8.5 to be really conservative. That would make it worth $494,000, almost $500,000 as a 3-unit, fully rented out. That doesn't count the shed or any storage units over there. So if we count the sheds, we'll say 250 extra in storage times 12 plus the 42,000. Now we have 45,000 coming in. Oh, that's a sweet car I found here. And see how beautiful this property was. And then divide that by 0.085. Then you get 529,000. So a couple $100 a month makes a big difference in value on a property. Now, if I were to get crazy and then say, well, we're going to rent that illegal unit for $900 a month, and then you would have $3,500 plus $900 would equal $4,400 times 12, $52,800. Divide that by 0.085. We get $621,000. So renting that illegal unit would net you another $100,000. That's without the sheds. And so that's why you see it's so enticing for people to do that. That's why it might be worth it to go after a variance, but for right now, we're just going to leave it as it is. I said I don't know if I'm going to sell it or just keep it. Some of my other properties I have like this, the complex and some other properties, it's been nice because they've been kind of flips like this where I could sell or rent them. But if I don't sell them and things do slow down, well, then I just keep them. I don't have to sell them. And that's what you see with multifamily right now, right? Because most multifamily has income coming in. So if an investor has multifamily and they have income coming in and interest rates go up like they have and there aren't as many buyers, they'll just say, okay, fine, I won't sell. I'll hold on to it until rates go down. I'll wait for that time period, and then maybe at that point, I'll sell it. And what that does is you can see the crazy closet in there. It decreases the inventory. So if you have a massive decrease of inventory and you don't have a lot of properties on the market, then it's very hard for prices to go down. And that's what you're seeing right now. You see fewer sales, a stagnant market, not much happening, as opposed to people just dumping properties and trying to get out of it. Here's the basement, what it looked like when I first bought it. Well, maybe that's what the stairs looked like. Oh, there's the cat. Oh, the cat. Remember the cat? I forgot about the cat. I haven't seen him for a long time. The neighbor said they helped take care of him. So, but here's what that basement, you can see there was a chair. People were living down here. It was not awesome. Talk about an illegal unit not having a window at all in your basement apartment. That would be not good. There's what the kitchen looked like before. Again, not a whole lot better. It's tiny, so tiny. And then the bathroom is right here. This is what the bathroom looked like. The shower was just crazy, falling apart. There was mold all over. So that is why we fixed it. And then, oh, the cat came in with us. Here's the bedroom. That's where the furnace was right there, if you could see that. So that's what that one looked like. And then let's see if we can... Oh, that's the ugly one. Here is the other one that we fixed up, the 2-bedroom, and you can see what it looked like. Well, maybe, if I find the keys. There we go. So it was not pretty either, so we came through, did a bunch of work, redid a lot of that as well in that one too. So there you go. There you can see what the property looks like now. We'll see if we can get it rented. I think we literally have people in the office right now asking about renting it already, so we just listed it. And we'll see how that goes. And of course, love the likes, love the comments, love the shares. Keep those coming. Love seeing new subscribers as well. We'll have updates on all of our properties. We'll see if we buy any more interesting properties like this as well. And see you soon.